Hey everyone, I'm Monk here, and today I'm going to talk about the current state of Windwalker in World of Warcraft Shadowlands. So patch 9.0 is coming to a close, and we should be getting patch 9.05 soon. So I kind of want to talk about where Windwalker is currently and where I think Windwalker will stand in the future, and address the question that I get asked most by either people who are currently playing Windwalker or people thinking about re-rolling Windwalker, and that's scaling. So I'm going to address that in this video as well. So let's get into it. So let's take a look how Windwalker Monks are currently performing in Castle Nathria. As you can see right now, I use the 95th percentile on Warcraft logs because I think that gives a good representation of what the class is capable of in a really good player's hands. So right now, currently, Windwalker Monk's ranked 4th, kind of tied with Shadow Priest and Fire Mage in the raid, which is a really good spot for Windwalker. That means, we're topping every other single melee DPS in the raid, and so that's a really good start for Windwalker Monk. If you compare this to Uldir, which is, I pulled up the Uldir data, Monk started off all the way down here. So up here for BFA, and then down here for Uldir. So bad start for Windwalker Monks in BFA, great start for Windwalker Monks in Shadowlands. And if you look further, what happened at the end of BFA, so I got the Nyalotha logs, we went even lower. We went from near the bottom to even closer to the bottom. So already that already gives us a good feeling going forward for Windwalker Monks in Shadowlands. So I think Windwalker Monks we're kind of near the top, but we're not too far in the top that we're going to get a nerf. I don't think there's any nerfs coming for Windwalker Monk. So that's also a good sign going forward. And Windwalker's popularity is pretty high too. You can see that there's 36,700 parses, which is actually even more than Havoc Demon Hunter parses. So Windwalker Monk, I think, is in a really good spot right now for the raid, and I'll talk about it a little later on and why I think right now where we are is a good sign for us going forward as well. So how about we hop into the Mythic Plus stuff, and we'll talk a little bit about how Windwalker Monks are doing in Mythic Plus. So what I have pulled up here is the unique class population for Mythic Plus level 20 and up keys. These are the very top end of keys, and this shows all the DPS of what percentage of them were involved in a 20 and up key. So out of all level 20 and up keys, about 8% of them involve the Windwalker, which is a very good sign. If we break this down even further, the only melee DPS that was brought to more plus 20 and up keys is Outlaw Rogue. So I think this is a very good sign for Windwalker. I think Windwalker right now is very strong. In Mythic Plus, you can see them in the MDI. A lot of teams run Windwalkers in the MDI, and they're represented on live servers and high keys. I think Windwalker's toolkit moving forward, it's not going to change. You still have Leg Sweep, you still have Ring of Peace, you still have good AoE damage, you still have decent single target damage, great defensives with Touch of Karma, Diffuse Magic, Dampen Harm, and Fortifying Brew. So I think going forward, at least for Mythic Plus, Windwalker Monk will still be in a good spot, and you'll see them on live keys, and you'll see them in the MDI. But yeah, so I think Windwalker's spot in Mythic Plus is pretty safe. So Windwalkers are in a pretty good place right now in patch 9.0, but looking ahead, I kind of want to discuss how I think Windwalkers will be in the future. So the question I get asked most is about Windwalker scaling being poor. And if you don't know what I mean by scaling, I mean that for each point of stat, some classes gain more DPS per point of stat than Windwalker does. And Windwalker traditionally has been a class that has scaled typically very poorly with stats. And I anticipate that being the same going forward. But I don't think Windwalker is going to be going to fall off and go straight to the bottom in raid or M+, and I'll talk about why. For the number one reason is Windwalker started off Shadowlands pretty strong. As we showed earlier in the video, Windwalker started near the bottom in BFA, and now we're starting near the top. So we're starting off in a good place. So even if stat scaling does come into play for Windwalker, which I anticipate it might. It's not going to drop us to the very bottom of raid. I don't think that's going to happen. The next reason is Bard Power. I think Windwalker's legendaries are very good, and I anticipate us being able to use 2 legendaries at some point. And we have 2 or 3 very good legendaries that could synergize together. Especially, I can imagine using Invoker's Delight, the haste legendary, with the spinning crane kick legendary, Jade Ignition. Those 2 could possibly work very well together in a mixed AoE single target situation. And then also, furthermore, our conduit traits are currently very good, with calculated strikes being almost too good, and coordinated offensive being a good one as well. So we have a couple conduit traits that are going to keep us afloat in terms of damage as well. So I think based on where Windwalker is starting off, and the stuff that builds into Windwalker's damage, like legendaries and conduits, I think going forward, Windwalker is going to be just fine. Can I say that we're going to remain near the top of raid? Maybe not. But even if we don't, I don't anticipate us going towards the bottom of raid, or M plus for that matter. So a lot of people ask me that question. They're worried about re-rolling Windwalker, and I guess my advice would be, Windwalker's fun to play. I mean, it's almost impossible to tell what class is going to be on top due to things like, balance tuning and whatnot like that. I would say if you enjoy playing Windwalker, definitely continue to play it, and you shouldn't be that concerned with it, not performing, at the very top. I don't think it's going to go to the bottom, but it may maybe not be as strong in the next raid tier as it was in this raid tier. But it's impossible to say because we don't know what the fights are designed like or anything like that. So my advice would be play what you want. If you're a player that likes to re-roll to the best class, then by all means that's something you could do as well. But I enjoy Windwalker, and everybody I've talked to who's played Windwalker, I can't really think of anybody who says they didn't enjoy playing Windwalker. So I would say, yeah, just keep playing it, and things are going to be fine. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to hang out with me on Twitch, you could find me at twitch.tv/IronMonkTyson. I love to hang out and talk Windwalker stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.